Do not eat health food. I'll just say it again. Do not eat food that's healthy. You know why? Because you are going to think it tastes like cardboard because it's healthy. And then you're going to be asking yourself, will I live longer or is it just going to seem like it? Right? Who wants to eat cardboard every day? Instead, eat food you love, that you adore, that happens to be healthy. That's how you do it. And if you do that, I don't care what community you're from, you're going to find foods that are healthy in your community that you love, that you grew up with. Eat that food. You don't all have to have a Mediterranean diet. You know, you can have anything you like that's healthy as long as you adore it, because you'll do it every day. You need stress issues to be addressed, and without that, you can't deal with your sleep, which is the biggest underappreciated problem in America. And you got to curtail your addictive behavior, which can come in many forms, not just crack cocaine. It can come in forms that are sneaky. For example, I am a big advocate for medical marijuana. I think it's a height of hypocrisy that we don't give people a chance to get treated by doctors for what they need. However, I'm not a big fan of recreational marijuana, and here's why. I don't want 17, 18, 19-year-old kids whose brains aren't mature yet thinking they have to rely on something outside their bodies to cope with life. Yep. They got to learn to cope with it themselves first. If you're 35 and smoking pot, different issues for me. But young people, they got to be aware of that stuff. All right, so let's go over this issue. First of all, conventional diets. You know what? How many of you can hold your breath indefinitely underwater? Hands up. Not indefinitely. Oh, not indefinitely. Of course not. She says, I can't hold it indefinitely. Well, that's the point. I know you can all hold your breath, but you can't do it indefinitely. Here's the catch. You have two major systems that force you to breathe when you hold your breath. You've got a dozen systems that make you eat when you're hungry. So guess what? You can't will yourself to lose weight. It can't be done. But what you can do is nudge the biology of blubber in the right direction. You can do things that naturally make it easier for people to lose weight. And those are the things that I rely on the most. For example, spicy food works. Spicy food actually works.
Oh my gosh.
I would put it in baby sauce. But it actually works pretty well, right? And it turns out nuts are the best food, I think, to lose weight. And you say, wait, what are you talking about, nuts? Nuts are fat. They are fat. But in every study ever done, people who eat nuts lose weight. And there's two reasons. The first reason is nuts are baby trees. They got all the nutrients of a tree. So they're going to give you what your brain wants, which are nutrients. Not calories, nutrients. When you eat stuff that doesn't have nutrients in it, your body says, oh, I thought that tasted good, you know, it feels okay. But your brain said, wait a minute, you gave me calories, but you didn't give me any nutrients. Go back and eat some more. Right? That's especially true for things like soda pop, which I'll get to. But the other benefit of nuts is that you get a discount on your nuts. Think about this. When you eat a nut, you don't chew it all the way. Your body doesn't absorb all the calories. So you actually only absorb 85% of the calories. Now think about that, 2,000 calories a day, if you're only absorbing 85%, you're only really getting 1,700 calories a day. So you're on a diet. If you're cutting 300 calories off what you normally eat, that's called being on a diet. So without realizing it, you just went on a diet by eating nuts. That's what I like. It automates, it makes it easy. It's not hard for you to do that. Now personally, I like to soak my nuts, but you can take it any way you want. But I take those hard nuts like the almonds and put them in water and let them swell with water. And those nuts, as they swell, become chewier. And I happen to like them that way. They also, I think, probably germinate a little bit. Nuts will fall into soil, get wet, and they'll germinate. So you can eat them. I don't care if you roast it even though raw is better. Just make sure they're good, fresh nuts and make them part of your diet. And never leave home without carrying a couple nuts in your pocket. Seriously. You can find out of the gutter, you guys. Trying to have a serious discussion. All right, now.
So there's a sugar addict. Isn't everyone? It's not like we're eating that much sugar, right? Wrong. Let's break it down. The average American consumes 142 pounds of sugar a year. That's right, pounds. That's 1,463 bottles of soda. Not a soda fanatic? We'll try 5,850 pounds. That's 16 cookies a day. Who eats 16 cookies a day? Or for that matter, 1,894 cups of chocolate ice cream. Think of it this way. You're eating the equivalent of Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars made of sugar. You know that can't be good for you. So how do you stop craving so much sugar? I've got a plan. And oh yeah, it takes just 14 days. So let's get started.
So, why did I bring that up there? Because this sneaks up on you. Soda pop, right? Sugar. And the problem with sugar pop is that when you try to go to diet soda, cut out the sugar, which is a good step to begin with, you don't actually lose weight. Because it's called diet soda, but it doesn't help you diet. Why? Because the artificial sweeteners get in there, your tongue tastes it, but your brain's too smart. It says, wait a minute, you tasted sweet, but you didn't actually get any calories. So go back out there and forage and find some sugar for me. Because you told me I was getting sugar, and you tasted that. And that's why we believe people on diet sodas tend to have problems. The other thing that it does, it messes with this, the microbiome. How many of you have heard of the microbiome? Good, about a third of the group. Let's just go through this. So much of your health and how you feel, the pains and the aches and the sleep and even the anxiety is driven by the bacteria in your gut. There are 10 times more bacteria than cells in your body. You're mostly not you. You don't even digest your own food. The bacteria digest your food. So if you have the wrong bacteria in your gut, your body isn't going to be able to absorb what it needs to absorb. When you take bacteria from thin and heavy people, they're different. One of the solutions to obesity might include changing bacteria. Hard to do, because you got to take someone's poop and put it in you.
Ooh.
But the easier thing to do is to give yourself the nutrients to feed the right bacteria. If you eat healthy food, your bacteria changes and becomes more diverse, right? Which is always a good thing. You want a lot of diversity in your gut. If you eat all the same junk food all the time, your bacteria becomes all the same kind. You don't want that. It's dangerous to have only one kind of bacteria in your gut. So with this kind of a data set, and since we understand that it's probably the unified theory of disease, if you've got any of these problems, leaky gut, which you know about because you get swollen, edematous, and tired, any autoimmune problems, allergies that you didn't have before, asthma, diabetes, obesity, heart disease, these are all huge problems in America. Even if you have ulcers, H. pylori, you have to question whether your gut bacteria is part of the problem. And if it is, that's good news, because you control that. What you eat literally today can affect that. It makes a difference. In addition, there are things that you need to control that only you have the ability to control. Sleep is a good example. Sleep is so central to our health that it causes problems we never thought were linked. Drug-resistant high blood pressure. We know populations have different kinds of blood pressure. African Americans have salt-sensitive blood pressure. Do you know why that is? Okay, there's this thing called the middle voyage. Right? When the slave ships came across the Atlantic, a lot of the slaves who were people who were taken hostage, maybe the slaves, died because they couldn't hold on to salt. People who could survive an inhumane voyage held on to salt, which is great because you live. But in the modern world, when you're given a lot of salt in the processed foods you eat, and you're genetically are predisposed to holding on to salt, that causes a problem. Right? So that's why salt sensitivity is so common in African Americans. In white folks, you have different kinds of high blood pressure issues. But both populations and Latinos are affected by sleep apnea. Because when you can't sleep at night, your body is jittery. It's at high alert. So your blood pressure goes up because you're in a fight situation. And when you realize that, you begin to appreciate the power of sleep. How about heart failure? That thing I talked about earlier with that clip that I invented, right? Heart failure is millions of people. Some of it's caused by the fact that you can't sleep at night. Your heart wears out over time. Coronary disease, blockage in your arteries, atrial fibrillation, your heart rhythms get messed up and begins to titter like this, like a bag of worms instead of pounding the blood like it's supposed to. Even cancer, right? These are major concerns for a lot of us for good reason. When we realize sleep is the cause of that, we can change that. In fact, you can actually measure your sleep. There's a free app. This is another company we started called Sleep Score. It's free. We've had millions of people download these things. We do lots of giveaways. I'm trying to get folks to focus on their sleep because you can fix it if you do. If you understand how to sleep better, and you measure yourself and you know how to improve it, because there are lots of tools that will work and some that won't, you'll all of a sudden be empowered. And there's lots of things that can affect it. As an example, caffeine, for most people, is not that big a deal. But if you can avoid coffee after the mid-afternoon, it's probably wise. Alcohol messes with your sleep if you drink it too late. So if you're going to drink alcohol, finish drinking by 8 o'clock, get a couple hours to get it out of your system. Otherwise, you fall asleep, but it's not a good quality sleep. Exercise is the single best thing you can do for your sleep. Exercise. And any time of day you do it, although morning's better. And sleeping pills will get you about 9 minutes of extra sleep.
Wow.
On average, 9 minutes. So they help some people a lot. They help a lot of people not much. So don't rely on those things. You control it. And especially something like ruminations, where you just are worried about stuff. That's a big reason people don't sleep. Write it down what's bothering you. Just write it down. Get it out of your mind before you fall asleep. Then put it aside because you can't fix it while you're asleep and go to bed. And these are tactics that work. And other things have to do with sleep hygiene, like turning the lights off at night. You need 20 minutes without light. If you're binge watching television, that light is keeping you awake. You got to turn it off 20 minutes before bedtime to let your brain make melatonin so you fall asleep. You need loose pajamas or no pajamas at all, which is even better.
Oh, bananas in pajamas.
That means you do other things too. By the way, your brain craves 4 things. The guy's getting excited now. Your brain craves 4 things. It craves food, water, sex, and sleep. Okay, now, if you don't sleep, right, you gotta either get more sex, that's okay, or you gotta eat more. And that's what happens. Especially shift workers, people don't sleep well, they get up and they're hungry. And you don't just crave broccoli, you crave carbohydrates, cookies, sugar, donuts. That's what you want. Ambient noise, especially in the city, is a huge issue. Get a sound machine or find some way of drowning out the sound, because you will not sleep well. I looked at these sleep scores because we have millions of data points. When people are hearing ambient noise and ambulances and honking horns in the city, it messes your sleep up. You don't know it, but it does. And finally, the melatonin that I mentioned gets turned down when you have the dark lights and all. If you can't get all that done right, have some tart cherry juice. It actually has some melatonin, but you got to take it a couple hours before bedtime. So take it like at 8 o'clock at night after dinner, a little soda pop with it, not soda pop, sparkling water with it, so it tastes like soda pop. And then a couple hours later, the melatonin will get into your brain and make you tired. One charity issue, we created this foundation, Health Corps, 15 years ago in New York City. Now we're all over the country. And I pointed out to say we've touched the lives of millions of young people, millions. But the way we do it is the same way we're going to touch your life. You need to know what to eat, and you need to love it. You need to know how to get more fitness, to get firm and strong, right? And that includes how to make sure you burn your calories better. But at the end of the day, it's all about mental resilience. Because here's the deal. If you can control what's happening inside your body, you can change the world outside of it. That's really the goal here. The reason you should care about your bodies is so you're empowered to change the people around you for the better. That's our goal, right? To be a little better ourselves every day so we can pass it on to other people in our lives. So lead by example. And you have the power by the very fact that you're here. So, what's the goal? First off, you're going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Right? When I'm driving along and I miss a turn, what does the GPS tell me? Right? The next time you can, make it